I'll test it now instead of in the middle of the circle. Okay.
This is the year for making changes. This is the year for moving on. This is the year for overcoming. This is the year for growing strong. This is the year for a new way of thinking. This is the year for making plans. This is the year for reaching out. This is the year for finding plans. Gonna lonely nights and yearnings, gonna the dark and cloudy skies. All the yesterday bridges running, all the doubt and all the lies. This is a chance to recapture the power. This is the time to end the fear. This is a moment I must remember. The year is here. This is the year I put into action all my desires and all my needs. This is the year of my passion. This is the year of my dreams. This is the year I'm letting go. I'm trying to change the one I love. This is the year I turn it over. This is the year I look above. This is the year that I pay attention, turning away from distraction and talk. This is the year that I keep the strength. This is the year I walk the walk. This is the year that I put into action all my desires and all of my needs. This is the year that I follow my passion. This is the year of my dreams. This is the year I need and happen. This is the year I follow through. This is the year I move and all of the things I want to do. This is the chance to renew my commitment. This is the time to be honest and clear. This is the moment to live and glory. This is the year that is that year. This is that year. This is that year. This is that year.
Good morning. Good morning. This is volume. Good? All right. Welcome, everyone. Delighted to see your smiling faces here. And this is the lovely Barbara Whitney, who's back with us this week. And she's our music director and a magnificent selector of songs. We appreciate you, Barbara. We love you and happy to have you back. So if you are out there watching and you are new to us, thank you for finding us this morning. We are Unity of the Seacoast. This is our Sunday service for January 8th. I wrote it down so I get it right. Here we go. And if you are here physically and you have not yet silenced your cell phone, now is an excellent time. We appreciate it very much. And today's daily word is freedom. The divine presence within guides me to freedom. At times I may feel hemmed in by circumstances, limited by lack of opportunity, or faced with an unwelcome situation and no good choice. When that happens, I may feel anything but free. Rather than despair, I find my freedom in God and the limitless expression of my divinity. Shifting my perspective from the limits of the world to the expanse and perfection of spirit, peace fills me. I relax and remember that no earthly trouble is greater or more enduring than God. I claim the power of God and feel a strength beyond mere human strength, as moment by moment I release limiting beliefs and reclaim the power I've given to my problems. Spirit lives in me and as me. This truth is my freedom. From 2 Corinthians 3:17, now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The divine presence within guides me to
Freedom.
Yeah.
thank you. Best helpers ever. Next up, we have here at Unity of the Seacoast a mission statement. And if you would be kind enough to join me in it.
We are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awakening oneness with God within us all.
Thank you. And I will ask the question, what does that mean for me? And this year, we will have the opportunity to explore that and see what does that actually mean for me in my heart, and what can I do this year to make it come alive and express. Each of us is an individual expression or blossom of the divine. She does it real good. And so this year, Tom will be exploring the theme of inclusion. What is it? Each one of us is an individual expression of God, then everyone is included. For me personally, we look at the world around us and the news is, and I hear a lot of people saying, I'm a Christian, and I have the opportunity to judge because people who declare themselves as Christians express themselves in a variety of ways. And for me, the defining aspect of the New Testament is the 11th commandment, which Jesus said in John 13:34, I give you a new commandment. Love one another. As I have loved you, also you must love one another. So if I'm failing to express in a loving manner, then I'm not living up to that new direction we were given. So that'll be my goal this year also. If you would kindly take the opportunity to visit our website, which is unityoftheseacoast.org. Probably begins with a www. We have a lot of our previous exciting presentations and information on there. Our weekly announcements are there, and our talks are archived there. We are currently, you're either watching us on Facebook Live or on YouTube. Excuse me. And if you prefer YouTube, you can find us on Unity of the Seacoast. And if you hit subscribe, you can find it more easily on your next visit. So we look forward to seeing you one way or the other. And we're certainly happy if you can join us physically. That's always a delight. And we do have food afterwards in our fellowship. Another benefit of coming on down. Also on our website, we have a donate button. The format that we use is Tithely, and Tithely is a delightful method of being able to help contribute to our ongoing works, our outreach into the community, and to be able to provide space for services. So if you prefer to support us through a check, then you can send that to Unity of the Seacoast, the McConnell Center, and that is room 246 at 61 Locust Street in beautiful Dover, New Hampshire. And these days, if you're coming through downtown Dover, it's better to avoid Central Ave if you can during the middle of the day, because the Chestnut Street Bridge is closed and it's that's a word to the wise. So on the first Monday of every month, we have it's called the First Monday Meditation at 7 p.m. and that is on our Facebook Live. And that is a brief but deep opportunity to rest, relax, recharge, and get some inspiration going into the new month. And on February 6th at 7 p.m., it will be called Meditation for Wisdom and Guidance. On Saturday, the 21st of this month at 2 p.m., here in this space, we will be having Poets in Unity. It'll be an opportunity for people to come share a piece of poetry, and they will have the opportunity to use a microphone if desired to get a little practice presenting in public, or if you don't want it, there's no requirement. We look forward to seeing everyone is welcome. And the suggested theme for this month is the dark of winter, but that's also not required. And next week we will begin Tom's year-long theme of inclusion. So we'll look at acceptance and actually loving all. And our first topic is the LGBTQ and everything that entails. So we hope we'll see you later here. On January 22nd, we'll be having our homecoming when we welcome back people who might have attended Unity of the Seacoast in the past and haven't been for a while. We welcome you. Come on down. And we are at this time reaching out. If you know someone who has been a member in the past, we'd encourage you to get in touch with them, reach out, invite them. And also anybody who's coming, if you feel like bringing a dish, we're going to be having a big feast afterwards. And Sue, we're wishing you a speedy recovery from the surgery. We're so happy to have you in our family. Linda Kay and Tracy Hutch set up a meetup page for us. So that has our upcoming events. Please look it over. And if you sign up, I don't know what it's called on that one, to register or whatever, then you'll get notifications of whatever's going on here as well as whatever else is going on in your life. Anybody ready for Namaste? Yes. So this next step in our journey this morning is the Sanskrit word Namaste, which is used as a greeting in pretty much every Unity center I've ever been to. And we put our hands together in prayer position and we look at someone in the eyes and bow slightly as we say, Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. If you have someone at home, please. We got to go. Namaste. And we will have another treat from our Barbara and the two stones.
Is that?
If I stand open to the energy in me, I choose my I choose my day. Being chosen by spirit and the whisper in my heart. From this day I am awakened to the picture God intended in my day. I write this day on white stone. Stone that means more purity and truth. In the silent strength, mind expresses power on this stone, on this one stone. I write my day.
Thank you for that. So last week we had the opportunity to write up and light up things we wanted to release. This week, I believe, Tom is going to share with us how to, in the Bible it says, if you sweep out some demons, you need to fill up that space with something new, or else they'll move back in and bring some friends. And I believe Tom is going to talk to us today about how to fill that space. Tom Scheinler.
Thank you, Charlie. Choir, thank you. Again, always amazed at how well you nail it. Though it was a little easier because it was a white stone ceremony and without writing my name. I want to thank everyone for being here. And Tom Schultz, good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
It's always good to be seen. So this stone represents freedom. When you read about a rock or a stone in the Bible, it often makes a tie-in metaphorically to freedom. Even the story of the men who cast stone at that woman. It represented freedom. For her, obviously, a freedom from the cruelty that the men were doing, but possibly freedom from death. But it showed that Jesus had faith in the men, that they would recognize themselves in his words, freeing them from the weight and burden that they were carrying. They had an anger, they had something going on. It freed them. They set down the rocks. And in turn, the lady was safe. In the story of Jacob in Genesis 28, 1 through 12. And so he came to a certain place and stayed there all night because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones from that place and put it at his head, and he lay down on that stone as a place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to the heaven. And the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. The use of this stone here, metaphorically, it sets his mind in a place where it can run free, where he can go to that spot where there is a connection between his mind
and heaven and God. In other words, he's meditating, going to that free space to seek a higher connection. In Exodus, the people were thirsty, and Moses struggled to find water for them. God tells them, Exodus 17:5-6, go on before the people, and take with some of you the elders of Israel. Also take in your hand your rod, which you struck the river, and go. And behold, I will stand before you there on a rock in Horeb, and you shall strike that rock, and water will come out of it, and people may drink. I love this story because on the surface it appears there's this miracle rock out there. But what God is saying is very practical. Take your staff and go find where the water runs free. The first documented use of a divining rod was in the 1500s, but this is what God is telling Moses. Take your rod, and find the place that water runs free. So a stone representing freedom is just not a concept from the book of Revelation alone. It has a history in the Bible. But it's from Revelation that we use it here. I gave those examples just for context and understanding. In Revelation chapter 2, verse 17 says, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcome, I will give some of the hidden manna to eat, and I will give him a white stone, and on that stone a new name written on it, which no one knows except him who receives it. Hidden manna. He who has ears, let him hear, the Spirit says. Remember, man cannot live by bread alone. Manna is a sort of bread. But the bread or manna that we talk about here, it nurtures the spirit or the soul. It is what nourishment that cannot be seen, has no words that it cannot be heard. That type of nourishment is wisdom. Wisdom through love. I say through love because there's plenty of wisdom that's been given that has an agenda. That's always not given in love. And the next part is, I will give a stone with a new name on it. What he's saying is, I will give freedom to use wisdom and love to decide who you will represent yourself as, who you will represent yourself to be. Last week, we cast away the things about us that no longer work when we did the burning bowl ceremony. And last week I said, this is a time when we show up in our lives and become present. Again, that's what taking this new name means. And I don't think the term name represents this ceremony well. Because we're not looking for a name. We're looking for something that represents how we will show up as ourselves this year. We're searching for a new reflection about ourselves and who we will be. Compassionate, trusting, faithful, repentant. When we cast out those things that did not serve us, we think about what is left. What are the things that you would tell a newborn baby about yourself that are good? What would you tell them that you would expect to be for the best of yourself? Each person makes a choice in their life over and over. We do this choice always on who we will be in any situation. Moses listened to the voice of God and made a choice on who he was going to, or how he was going to represent himself when he freed his people. Saul, on the way to Damascus, made a choice after a vision of seeing Jesus on who he was going to be and how he was going to represent himself for the rest of his life. Jesus chose in his words on Gethsemane, not my will, but yours. You chose to follow God to fruition. What we do here today is very symbolic. It's a process that we do in each interaction, and we don't think about it. When we face a new person or a situation, we choose who we will represent ourselves as in each new situation. We all know or have been that person who presented themselves badly. And it changes from interaction to interaction. Last week, I was sorting out an issue with QuickBooks for the church, and I seemed to encounter people who did not want to help me or did not care. And it took me 3 days to ponder and think about this. What could I do? And I realized I got to change how I present myself to them so they can see me, they can see my story. I had been reacting to these people. And if I was stubborn, why would they want to help me? I decided to change course. I was going to be open and really make them see who I was from a loving place. Next person I got on the phone happened to be a retired minister who had just taken this job to make some extra money. I gotcha. He saw me in him, and he showed up as someone who was caring and empathetic. I'm going to ask each of you to come up and take a stone and take a card. And I would like people to do that now. Now you're going to notice one thing. I did not give you a pen. There was a reason for that. First, as I look around the room, I want each of you to know that I see you. The reason we do Namaste, and maybe it gets overlooked in the process, is that we see each other, the best of each other. Hopefully you see that in me, but it's an exchange we have. Now you'll notice that I gave you cards with your stone. These are just examples of what you can write. Some of you know what you're going to write, and others will ponder. These words are just to trigger the thought process, but they're a good reference. They're a good reference to look at now and then throughout the year, just to check in on yourself. And before I move forward in this, I would like to do a meditation. And I'm going to step away.
Let it draw near. Let it come in. Let it pass through. Let it go on. Let it draw near. Let it come in. let it pass through, let it go, let it draw near, let it come in, let it pass through, let it go, let it draw near, let it come in, let it pass through, let it go.
I invite each of you to get comfortable with your feet, plant on the carpet, and take your breath. We breathe in and we exhale. And we find our comfortable breathing pattern. Do this a couple times. And as you do this, I'd like each of you to think about yourself. Remember a time when your goodness shone through and you smiled. Or you made someone else smile. You helped someone in need. You listen deeper. Think of a time when you were given wanted advice. Or someone turned to you. Think of a time when you prayed for another. In those times, what qualities did you display? I'm going to read the list of qualities that I gave you on that card. I just want them to spark something within you that you feel about yourself. Love, faith, compassion, empathy, patience, humility, audacious, bold, forgiving, prudent, wise, sensible, courageous, present, generous, caring, temperance, respect, perceptive, tolerant, integrity, prosperous, commitment, abundant, honest, strong, open, self-aware, responsible, accepting, authentic, loyal, motivated. And as we ponder this, I'd also like you to think, I am present, whole, and healthy. What I see in me, what I want the world to see. I'm going to invite you back. As you come back, I want you to think, suppose you write nothing on the stone. That's okay, because it's difficult to write, to come up with that word on the spot in the moment. Take it home, and when it hits you, then write it on the stone. I would really rather you do that and invest time into this than just make it a ceremony that has to be completed in the moment. Because this represents who you are going to be. Put some thought into it. The first white stone ceremony that I ever took part in, I had just read a book, and it talked about my name, Tom, meaning twin. So when I did the ceremony, what I wrote on the stone is what came to me, twin. And that was my new name for the year. You know how that served me throughout the whole year? Nada, zip, nothing. Did not do a thing. In each interaction, I may think, how can I be more loving? How can I be more kind? How can I listen more? Not once have I ever thought, what this situation needs is, how can I be more twin? So take your time in this. Listen and know that it's always evolving. It's written in stone, or written on stone, but not set in stone. It represents the freedom for you to choose who you're meant to be in each new moment. And after you write your new word or name on it, carry it with you. Put it in a place you'll notice it. Set it in the cup holder on the car, which kind of gets in the way, but it's not quite in the way, or on your dresser. Put it in a butter dish. Wake up every morning, open it up before you do your toast, and have fun watching everyone else trying to cut their butter, realizing it's not going to go through. But I also want you to reflect on it. That's the idea of having it visible. Do your best to keep it in your heart and in your mind. It's not easy to live up to this. It may seem so, but often what we do here seems simple, but it's not so simple. We get to show up as who we want to be, but that varies. It's hard to be a loving person when you're faced with someone who's angry or adversarial. It's hard to be in the flow when we don't feel in the flow. And oftentimes we're not. So when we keep this word present in our mind, we get to that default position a lot easier. So when those difficult times come, I'm going to be loving here. I'm going to listen more. I'm going to be more understanding, compassionate. I'm just going to be bold, and I'm not going to let them intimidate me. I'm going to be audacious enough to say, I reject this situation. But keep your word, your intent for the year in your mind. Any word that you choose, you've earned. You are that person. It's not something that you have to attain. It's within you. There has always been within you the best version of yourself. There is no better person ever created than you, born from perfection into perfection. I believe this with my whole heart for everyone. Sometimes it just takes us time to rediscover that within ourselves. That's what the Advent season was about. That's what the burning bowl about. That's what this is about. Trying to get back to that perfect us, because life can corrode who we are. We internalize, give power to the negative things that happen in our lives. Voices that other people have told us, things that we've told ourselves about ourselves. Those are the worst, because they tell you things, and they're the trickiest because they use a voice we're very familiar with to insult us. They use our own voice. But it's not a truth. You know who the true you is. So ponder that over the next week or however long it takes. And then write your word down. That's one of the things I love about unity, is it allows you to reclaim yourself. There's no belief that we were born sinners. It's just teaching us how to get back to the perfection that we've always been, to honor the love that we were created in. Your actions don't have to be big, they just have to be consistent with who you want to be. Be compassionate when you need to be compassionate. Be empathetic when you need to be empathetic. And if you write something on that and it doesn't make sense, turn it over, there's another side. And if all of a sudden you realize that's not it, you have 4 more littler sides. And if that doesn't work, come back, I got more. This is about us. This is about being selfish to who we want to be. At the same time, it's us being a gift to the world. I'm so thankful that you guys allow me to be part of this. So the reason I didn't hand the pens out is I hope you take the time to put some thought into it, to try and live up to that person that you want to be, that you know you are. Sometimes it takes peeling away the layers till we get to who we are. But once you start doing that, you realize that you don't really have that many layers. Your light starts shining through right away. What you just have to do is react and live from the love and that Christ connection that's within you. And from there on out, it's bliss, my friends. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to do a prayer for those at home or anyone you know, anyone who's fighting a battle that's just tough to be brave. And for those who are fighting the brave battle and have room to spare, have enough to give, that we all can share in this affirmation of love and wholeness. If anyone at home is thinking of someone, please write it in the comment box. If you're not comfortable writing their name, then their initials or just a heart emoji. And anyone here, if you feel like speaking it out, speak it out. You don't have to. Hold that person or people in the forefront of your mind. This week, I think of baby Jace. I think a friend of mine who I lost in Pennsylvania this week. I'd only met once when we were friends on Facebook. But I think of her family. So Marion Lee, thinking of you. As we think of these people, I affirm their wholeness, their health. I affirm their bask in love and healing energy. I affirm this to the world, to those we know and those we do not know. My love to them, their love to me. We are connected. And so it is. And another prayer that we do a prayer of tithes and offerings. Let's try with your own moment.
I am here, give and receive love. I am here to give and receive. I am here to give and receive love. I am here to give and receive love, love. I am here to give and receive love.
You can repeat prayer of tithes and offering. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So it is. Close this out with a prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. Thank you guys so much for just joining us for the peace song. We're doing it a cappella today.
Let there be peace on earth, and Lord, it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, peace that was meant to be. With God created in oneness all are we. In love we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Because we walk with me, let this be no moment now. With every breath I take, this truth is my joy, is mine. To live each moment and love each moment in peace eternally. Let this be shown, and it must be done.